Hi everyone, this is Radhika here again. I hope you all are doing well. So, this video is going to be about narcissists and their masculine and feminine energies. I've been doing this series for some time and I've been reading and understanding a lot more about masculine and feminine energy. It's also called as yin yang or Shiv Shakti, and it has many other names. Um, so once we gain some knowledge or insight about these energies, we can actually look at a narcissist in our life or any other human being in our life, in office, in family situations, etc., and kind of decipher that human being and their energy system to a much deeper level. Um, because I think it makes a lot of sense, this concept of masculine and feminine energies. Um, so this video is basically just some observations that I have made in my life, and I'm not going to go into the details of what these energies are and how they manifest because there are many videos on YouTube regarding this and a lot of information out there, so you guys can read it from there. But I would like to give like a quick introduction to what is the light form and the shadow form of masculine energies and of feminine energies. So masculine energy in its light form or balanced form is strong, firm, non moving, calm, unshakable, protective, warrior like energy. And it is also directed, so it goes from point A to point B, very clear, focused with a direction, logical, thrusting energy, forward moving, which moves forward. um, and this is just the basic of it, so there's a lot more aspects to it. um, and In terms of manifestation, it's like you can think of masculine energy is like a cheetah, like a tiger or a lion or a cheetah. So when it wants to get its prey, it will actually go out and hunt for it. So that is how masculine you can think of masculine energy. It's all about achieving, and getting your needs met. So feminine energy, on the other hand, on the light in the light form, is soft, nurturing, caring, healing, knowing, feeling, and it's like a magician or a sage like energy, all knowing, kind of very wise energy. And it is also like web like, so how masculine is point one to point A to point B. Feminine energy is like a web. It tries to connect the dots, so it's trying to look at the whole picture, not just one line. So it's kind of, it can be confusing sometimes because it takes time to get the whole view of the whole picture. It's intuitive, it's resting, leaning back, so it's like it has that quality of surrender to it, so it can surrender and hope or wish for or pray for things to happen instead of having this urge to always go out and make things happen. So yeah, there are a lot more aspects to this as well, and manifestation wise, you can think of this and like it's like a spider, like how a spider will just make a web and go away and do whatever the spider wants to do, and when they come back, the web has already caught its prey. So it's that kind of energy. It wishes, it wants, it prays for it, and it goes away, and then whatever it wants is manifested. So of course there's some work involved in that as well, but that's the difference. So in shadow form, masculine energy is dominating, controlling, hurting, killing, raping, diminishing the other person, bullying, insecure. So there's a lot of insecurity, egoic, and ultimately it's all destroying. If everyone goes in their shadow masculine, everyone is going to just go on killing each other rampantly, and nothing is going to remain. So yeah, that's shadow masculine. Shadow feminine is manipulating, complaining, needy, victim mentality, procrastinating, not doing anything. So this is different than surrender. Surrender is you do the work and then you leave it, you leave it up to the forces of life to give that to you. But procrastination is simply not doing, because you want to do some, you have to do something, but you just make excuses and you procrastinate. Petrifying, so it's like you become immovable, you become so scared that you cannot move forward because of some insecurity or something like that. It can also be entitled, tantrum throwing, so like a princess like behavior, chaos creating, lot of confusion, lot of chaos, triangulating, etc. um, so my theory is this, is that for normal human beings, so this is for non-narcissists. um, oh yeah, and one more point. So feminine and masculine energies do not correspond to females and males. These energies are found in everyone, and we all use them to varying degrees. So it completely depends on how we are using it, and that will determine if we are more in our masculine or more in our feminine. And of course that changes, right? So it's not a constant, it depends from time to time how your energies are. Yeah, so for most normal human beings who are mostly functional, like not dysfunctional like narcissists, a person who is in their feminine energy, most of the time, when cornered or when put out of alignment, so maybe they have a lot of pressure that suddenly comes on them, or some trauma happens to them, this person will go into their shadow masculine. So a person who's usually in their feminine, when under pressure or out of alignment, they go into their shadow masculine. And I'll give you an example. So say there's a woman who's usually quite a relaxed lady. She's normally caring, socially, just like a normal human being, who's very relaxed and chill and um, caring, etc. Now say she gets promoted in the office a bit too quickly, so maybe she's not ready for it yet, but she gets promoted and gets like two teams under her. And this lady is going to go out of alignment with her usual self, because suddenly she's been given a lot of work to be done and in a focused directed way, and there's a lot of pressure, right, in the corporate world. So such a lady is going to naturally tend to go into her shadow masculine. And shadow masculine means dominating, controlling. There's this false sense of urgency that she always has, and she's trying to make things happen all the time, she cannot lean back, she has to lean forward and make things happen. So I think a lot of women who are in corporate roles now, and who are at like higher levels of corporate roles, um, this is what is happening to them. They are losing their femininity because they are put in a situation where they are out of alignment with their true nature, and so they have to become this, like a false man, because they are not in their good masculine energies, they are in their lower masculine energies. So they are always kind of like dominating and very very questioning, always like an interview style conversation with them. So I think that's what happens. And similarly, a person who's mostly in their masculine energy, so say there is a woman who's a go-getter. She's very focused, disciplined, logical, non-emotional, or seemingly she doesn't show her emotions. say some tragedy happens in her life, like a breakup happens, or she loses her job, or her husband cheats on her. So, this kind of a woman or man, even who's in mostly in their masculine, when they are cornered or when they are out of alignment, they suddenly go into their shadow feminine. So be they will feel like a victim. They will feel completely helpless. They'll become extremely needy. They'll nag other people, either to help them or to hear their story over and over again. They might also start procrastinating. So they might take like a complete uh, shift from what they used to be. So they used to be a go-getter, etc., and they might become someone who's afraid to try out new things now because they are so completely out of alignment. um, when something like when a tragedy happens. um, so I think that is what happens to someone who's in their masculine energy. They go into the shadow feminine when out of balance, when out of alignment, when some trauma happens suddenly in their life. um, so now for also for functional human beings who are usually balanced, so this person might be almost like a 50-50 mix, so they might be very directed also, but they also take vacations and they relax. And they might do everything that they can to achieve something, but they have no problems in sometimes surrendering when things are not going their way. So when this person goes like when this person gets cornered or under pressure or triggered, they actually go into their shadow masculine as well as shadow feminine. But the difference is they come up very very quickly. So because they have mostly maintained a balance, they are able to come out of that bad or the shadow state extremely quickly, is what I have noticed. So I have a personal example here where I saw a person um, who was like a boss to me, ex-boss, and something I said triggered him, and I did not mean to trigger him, but something I said did trigger him, and he went into this like complete rage like mode. So he went into his shadow masculine suddenly and he raged. And then he was like uh, basically he wanted to assert control over the situation. So he was like no, but I am the one who has this say and something like that. So basically when I was in that situation, I could see that he's going into his shadow masculine suddenly. And he immediately switched over to his shadow feminine which was like he acted like a victim. He said that like like he said something that made him seem like a victim. And then he himself was caught off guard by the trigger, because it was a trigger that triggered him, and he used to usually be like a balanced person. But that's what happened. Like when a balanced person gets triggered, they go into both their shadow masculine and feminine. But like he came back out of it immediately, and that's what proves that someone is a balanced person. And that's why even in your life, if you want to stay balanced, you have to kind of um, see where you lie in this spectrum of masculine energy and feminine energy, and how you move towards the lighter aspects of these two energies. um, so that was that. And now in case of narcissists are usually always in their shadow side of masculine as well as feminine. And of course, I think it, as I say in most of my videos, narcissism is a spectrum. So you really have to kind of take this with a pinch of salt, because not every narcissist is going to fall into a particular category. There's a lot of different categories and a lot of different backstories to the narcissists. So Narcissists are mostly operating in their shadow energies, and by mostly I mean like mostly 70 to 90% of the time. That might be the spectrum of NPD, and that is all they know, because when they cross over to the NPD spectrum, they lack introspection. So they have somehow lost the ability to introspect and to correct themselves, which most of the normal people have, fortunately. So yeah, so um, when an overt narcissist, who's mostly in his male shadow energies, is cornered or is out of alignment with whatever his shadow energy part is, they go into shadow feminine. So they act like a victim, think about a really overt narcissistic person. When they are cornered, they start acting like a victim, although they are the ones who have dominated other people for so long and who have made other people feel bad for so long. Similarly, when a covert narcissist, who's mainly in the female shadow energies, is cornered, they go into the shadow masculine. So they might, completely become destructive, um, extremely controlling, and extremely dominating, etc. So basically, they will suddenly switch over to the shadow masculine. So, like that, narcissists are always in their shadow, and that's the basically that is what rings true to me. And if it rings true to you, and if these things apply in your life, if you see these things happen in your life, then I would be really happy to read about these experiences. And yep, that is all. So wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.